Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Tuesday, June the 10th. We got a full MLB slate today, 15 games, so got some early player props that I do like for today, guys. Taking a first look at the board on Tuesday morning. I am recording this video the morning of. Typically do these videos the night before, but there weren't a lot of props up last night when I was going to make the video, so just decided to record it, this morning. And yeah, we got 3 plays I like. Taking a first look at the board this morning, we're going to break down these plays. We're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure that you hit that like button down below if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to go sign up and use that promo code NOAH when you guys do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. Easy way to get your bankroll built up on Prizepicks. Again, use that code NOAH if you have not signed up yet. And then also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper, so I want to shout out Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can download their app, use promo code NOAH, and when you place your first deposit, you'll get your first deposit match up to $100. So if you decide to deposit $100, Sleeper will give you an additional $100 to play with. So this is another way to get your bankroll built up on Sleeper. Use the money that they give you to hopefully win some money off the free money that they give you, and then you can build that bankroll up on Sleeper. And if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks. They're very similar to all the other DFS apps you see around the industry. You just pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can do up to an 8-pick lineup on Sleeper. You can win up to 100x your money, and you can mix and match sports as well. So definitely check them out, guys. Use that code NOAH if you have not signed up for Sleeper yet. But let's go ahead and talk about some plays, guys. I do like for today on Tuesday. Now, recapping our plays from Monday's video, we did go 3-0 on the 3 picks that we gave out Monday, so hopefully you guys did tail. We took Josh Lowe over 6.5 fantasy score, which cashed. We took Merrill Kelly over 5.5 strikeouts, which cashed. Then we took Emerson Hancock over 5.5 hits allowed, which cashed as well. So 3-0 on our 3 plays Monday. Hopefully you guys tailed, made some money with us. Let's try and run it back here for Tuesday. Go 3-0 on these 3 plays for this Tuesday slate. So the first 2 props I like for today are going to be pitcher fantasy scores. And the first prop that I'm liking that we're going to take is Andrew Abbott. And we're going to take Andrew Abbott for more than 27.5 pitcher fantasy scores. So if we look at what Andrew Abbott's been doing lately, he's had some really good starts. He's also kind of had some bad starts as well. But like if you look at one of the bad starts he has, it was against the Cubs, which is definitely not an easy matchup. The Cubs have been a great offense this year. They're a team that really doesn't strike out much either. And then in his last start against the Brewers, he also kind of struggled, only had 21 fantasy points. But this is a spot where I think Abbott has a really good opportunity to pitch well. He's going to be going into Cleveland to face the Guardians. And one thing I like is that this is going to be a road start for Andrew Abbott. Now, Andrew Abbott does pitch his home games at Great American Ballpark, which is a great hitter's park. The Reds ballpark has always played as one of the best hitter's parks. If you look at Abbott's splits at home versus on the road this season, they actually haven't been like too drastic. He's got a 2.27 ERA at home, 2.05 on the road, but he has been better on the road. Opponents are only hitting 156 off of him on the road versus at home they're hitting 224. He's also only allowed a 226 on base percentage on the road, a 273 slug, which is lower than what he's allowed at home. So he has been better at home. It's not like significant, but he's definitely been, better on the road. He's been better on the road. It's not like any significant splits or anything, but I do like to look at Abbott more when he's on the road because I think it's just sets up more favorable for him. This is obviously going to be a good spot for him going into Cleveland, a ballpark that typically is played more pitcher friendly. And if we look at the Guardians this season, the Guardians have been pretty bad against left-handed pitching. The Guardians, they're a team that we've historically known to be kind of pesky. Like, they don't really strike out a lot. They put balls in play. Versus left-handed pitching, though, they've been striking out a lot this season. The Guardians have the 7th highest strikeout rate versus left-handed pitching. And then if you look at their offensive numbers, they rank 23rd in WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. So Cleveland has really struggled versus left-handed pitching this season. They've been striking out a lot against left-handed pitching. Even if we look at a recent sample, like if we look at the last 14 days, Cleveland has the 8th highest strikeout rate, 26.7%. And then if we look at their WRC plus ranks 18th, so still below league average. So I think this is a really good matchup for Andrew Abbott. I think this is a spot where he can probably go 6 innings, get us a quality start. If you look at his prop lines for today, his pitching outs line is set at 17.5, so sportsbooks think he's got a chance to go 6 innings here. His strikeout prop is set at 5, so he's projected to get some strikeouts. I mean, if he can go 6 innings with 5 strikeouts, maybe give up 3 runs, I mean, that puts him at 28 fantasy score when you factor in quality start and everything like that. So I think at 27.5, this line is definitely low enough that I do like this over quite a bit on Andrew Abbott. I think the matchup's really good here. I like getting him on the road away from Great American Ballpark. And he's facing a Cleveland team that, like I said, not only has been bad offensively against lefties this season, but Cleveland's also been striking out a lot against lefties. So can check a lot of boxes in this spot for Andrew Abbott. I do like him for more than 27.5 pitcher fantasy score. Now, the next prop I like, again, is another pitcher fantasy score. We're going to look at Lance McCullers' 32.5 pitcher fantasy score, and I also like the over here, more than 32.5 pitcher fantasy score on Lance McCullers. So Lance McCullers has not made a ton of starts this season. He came back from injury, I think it was early May, and had actually the same matchup. Was his first start of the season was this same matchup against the White Sox. He pitched okay, not great. He only went 3 2/3 innings, had 4 strikeouts, didn't give up any runs, but his pitch count was really high. So they pulled him early from that start. Also, it was his first start of the season, so like he was kind of on a short pitch count, like they weren't going to let him go deep into the game. And then he got destroyed in his start against Cincinnati, had -20 or -26 fantasy points. But then since then, he's kind of settled back in. He's had some really good starts lately. In his last start against Pittsburgh, he had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, didn't give up any runs. His start against the Athletics, he had 12 strikeouts in 6 innings, only gave up 3 runs. His start against Seattle, he only went 4 1/3, but he had 8 strikeouts in that start. We started to see the strikeouts kind of come back for Lance McCullers. He's been able to go deeper into games as well. He's gone 6 innings now in back-to-back starts. This is a really good matchup for him on paper, facing the White Sox. The White Sox this season, not really good offensively. We kind of know the White Sox are not a good offensive team. Most people know that. But if you look at their stats this season against right-handed pitching, I mean, they rank dead last in average. They rank 27th in on-base percentage, dead last in slugging, dead last in OPS, and second to last in WRC+. So the White Sox have had pretty bad numbers versus right-handed pitching. Now, the White Sox are a team that they don't strike out a ton. Now, they do strike out, but they're not like leading the league or anything. But this season versus right-handed pitching, the White Sox do have a 22.5% strikeout rate, which is 8th highest in the league. So there still is strikeout upside available for McCullers in this matchup. It's a good matchup facing a bad offense. It's a spot where I think McCullers probably projects to go at least 5, maybe 6 innings. You look at his pitching outs line for today, and that line is set at 16.5. So sportsbooks think he's got a decent chance to go at least 5, potentially get through 6 innings with a 16.5 pitching outs line. I don't think we need McCullers to go 6 innings and get a quality start to go over this line, because he could definitely only go like 5 innings but get like 7 or 8 strikeouts. He could maybe get a win too. I think this is a spot where the Astros do have, or McCullers does have a good chance to get a win, because the Astros are pretty decent favorites in this game at home facing a bad team. They're -175 favorites in this game. So there's a lot of boxes you can check in this spot for Lance McCullers. Good matchup facing a bad offense. Potential for strikeouts facing a team that does have a top 10 K rate versus right-handed pitching this season. And it's a spot where I think McCullers has a chance to at least maybe get a quality start, if not a win as well, since the Astros, again, are pretty decent favorites at home today. So I do like this play on Lance McCullers. We're going to take him for more than 32.5 pitcher fantasy score. And then the third and final play that I like is a hitter prop. We're going to look at Britton Doyle. And I like Britton Doyle for more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So Britton Doyle has not had a great season this year. You can see lately he's not really had many good games. But if you look at Britton Doyle's splits, and if you look at a lot of the Rockies hitters, a lot of these Rockies hitters do significantly better at home because they play their home games in Coors Field, which, if you don't know, Coors Field is the best hitter's park. And Doyle has had very drastic home and road splits this season. At home, he's batting .238, which is still not great, but he's batting .238 at home. He's only batting .152 on the road. And then if you look at his splits versus left-handed pitching compared to right-handed pitching, he has had very drastic splits versus lefties compared to righties. Against right-handed pitching, Doyle's only batting .150. Versus left-handed pitching, he's batting .364. Just, significant splits there in terms of his numbers versus lefties compared to righties. Last season, his numbers versus lefties and righties were pretty similar. And then in 2023, he was actually a little bit better against righties. But this season, he's been significantly better against left-handed pitching. And then if we look at his splits at home versus left-handed pitching, his splits at home versus left-handed pitching are even better. He's batting .345, .406 on base percentage, .586 slug, .992 OPS, .241 ISO, .164 WRC plus versus left-handed pitching at home. So Doyle is a guy that has shown to be better versus left-handed pitching this season, and he has shown to be way better at home in Coors Field, which is not surprising given Coors Field is such a good hitter's ballpark. And I like the matchup for him going up against Kyle Harrison. Now, if you look at Kyle Harrison, if you look at like his history versus Kyle Harrison, he's actually got pretty bad BVP. Against Kyle Harrison, he's only 1 for 10, so obviously not great there. But I'm not exactly sure how many of those games were in Coors Field versus on the road. I might be able to find that. Let me see. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see here. So let's see. Okay, so he's had 4 starts. He's faced Kyle Harrison in 4 games. 2 of those were at home, and 2 of those were on the road. So in the 2 home starts, he went 1 for 5, so not as bad. In the two road games, he went 0 for 5. So he faced Kyle Harrison 5 times at home and was 1 for 5, so a little bit better there. But again, I like the matchup. I mean, Kyle Harrison this season, he's not been great. He's got a 4.35 expected ERA. Kyle Harrison, decent strikeout pitcher, 24% strikeout rate. Doyle is a guy that will strike out a lot, but he has struck out a lot less against left-handed pitching this season compared to right-handed pitching. He's striking out at a 28% clip versus right-handed pitching, whereas versus left-handed pitching, he's only striking out 15.4%. So I think the spot's pretty good for Brenton Doyle. I like him playing at home here in Coors Field, which again is a really good hitter's ballpark. And Doyle has just had such good splits at home this season. He's had such good splits versus left-handed pitching. The spot checks a lot of boxes for me. Obviously would like to see him have better history against Kyle Harrison. Going 1 for 10 is not ideal. But again, half of those at-bats were on the road where Doyle is just not as good. At home, he's been a much better hitter kind of all throughout his career, as have a lot of these Rockies hitters. So I do like Brenton Doyle here for more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's going to be our third and final play for today, guys. So we got 3 picks here for this 15-game MLB slate on Tuesday. We're going to take Andrew Abbott for more than 27.5 pitcher fantasy score. We're going to take Lance McCullers for more than 32.5 pitcher fantasy score. And we're going to take Brenton Doyle for more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So we got 3 plays. Again, we went 3-0 on our 3 plays Monday. Let's see if we can run it back here and go 3-0 on these 3 plays for today. So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate your support as always. Hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to go check out Prizepicks. Use that code NOAH. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get $50 in promo funds instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. But good luck, guys. Let's win some money tonight, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.